What's up, Rebel Nerds? Welcome back to the one, the only Rebel Nerd Radio.
Back on StreamYard.
Yes, that's right. Like a bad penny, we have returned. And that's right, we are back on StreamYard. It is episode number 252. And if you are new here, this is Rebel Nerd Radio, where we geek out about Star Wars, comics, and all the stuff that makes us proud to be nerds.
Amen.
I am half of your Rebel Nerd crew, Steve, and with me is JD. How's it going, JD?
Good. Actually, it's going better than what I thought it would tonight, to be honest with you. Just a real quick I'm going to kind of throw it out there just in case. I thought actually we were supposed to have some really nasty storms here in the Wichita area, which we may still. So if I have to leave abruptly or you leave and come back and you don't see me, that may be why, because I have to exit because we are under a tornado watch. They were predicting maybe a possibility of some rogue cells popping up and we getting some tornadoes, which we did last night. In the eastern half, upper northeastern half of the state, we got some tornadoes last night, did a little bit of damage, and hope best for all those folks. Hope everybody's safe. I have not heard about anything adverse happening to them, which is good. But I just kind of wanted to throw it out there right away that if for some reason I have to leave abruptly, that would be why, is because I have to go to work.
Awesome.
So
tonight,
other than that, doing good.
We will be talking about chapters 3 and 4 of Maul, Shadow Lord. There will be spoilers for those that haven't watched. Just keep in mind there are spoilers. So we'll have that a little later on as our main topic. And then here in a little bit, we're going to be doing some show and tell with our Show Me Your Thingies.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a special guest today. Tonight, we welcome from the Scarif Podcast, Mr. Rowe. What's up, sir?
Mr. Rowe.
What's up? I love that Fafo t-shirt there, sir. Very nice.
Like
very nice.
This is from Grunt Style. This is part of their May the 4th collection that they're putting out for this year. So
very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually wore one last
shirt makers.
Sorry about that. Who's in the chat so far tonight? We've got Matt. How's it going, Matt?
Hey, Matt.
We've got Taco Cat. We've got that guy looks familiar. We've got
Wait a minute.
Drew.
Hey, Drew.
How's it going, Drew? And he is actually watching from his computer for once, he says.
Hey, cool.
We've got Chantel. How's it going?
Hey, Chantel.
And it looks like that's all we've got so far. Still a little bit early.
For now.
We always have stragglers.
Oh, yeah.
So, again, Rebel Nerd Radio, if you're catching this on our YouTube channel, whether it is on the replay or you're watching live, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop us a like. Comments help too.
Mm-hmm.
So do that thing. Help us invade that YouTube algorithm. And if you're new on YouTube, jump in that chat.
Say things.
Scum and villainy. Share your thoughts with us.
Say things to us.
Yeah.
We'll respond.
Heck yeah.
To us,
We continue to trickle up on our subscriber list, and we love that. So if you're not subscribed, please do it, because it just inches up just a little bit at a time.
Inches up every so often. Where are we at right now? I'm curious.
360. I just looked. 360.
We made it. We are getting closer to 500.
Between monitoring the weather just to make sure I don't have to go to work and everything else, I went ahead and looked, and we are currently at 360 at this point.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yes,
very
Drew.
Nice.
Say things. Whisper sweet nothings in our ears. And we'll show you our thingies.
Oh, God.
So,
Ro didn't say he would.
Well, let's start off with Roy.
I think everybody's already seen my thingies, so I that's all news to me.
We always have some. We
we're
always
done.
have new thingies to show, though.
We do always have new thingies to show.
Yeah.
They're interchangeable. No.
That's right. And they're bionic. No. No. So what have you been up to this week, Ro?
Let's
Anything
see.
interesting?
I'm usually off Tuesdays and Wednesdays, living the life. Lots of like internal NBC news type things happening. They redesigned the newsroom, so everybody's like oohing and ahhing at the new buttons. Brad and I finally came back to do a live show on Saturday. So obviously we talked about the Shadow Lord first 2 episodes, and we're gonna do it again on Saturday. So hopefully you guys will join us in the chat and say sweet whispering things to us as well. But yeah, I mean, when we're not talking about Star Wars, when there's no Star Wars to talk about, we'll kind of like branch out every so often. We did a Stranger Things episode here and there. But looking forward obviously to new Star Wars all the time until we're not. But it depends. And I think Brad and I have talked about the fact that it seems like Star Wars animation has been consistently good, more so than live action Star Wars. And when this show was announced a couple of months ago or whatever, we were looking forward to it. And obviously, what do you call it? The show drops and Sam Witwer is doing his thing, and where everybody gets excited. So yeah, we're excited for the show. I'm excited to give my thoughts on this second set of 2 episodes. And I know somebody mentioned that there's a Star Wars movie coming out on the big screen this summer.
About that.
Some people are gonna go see it. Whispers of a Star Wars movie. But Steve, if you're, I don't know, if you want to make the trek up here to Chicago on the 20 whatever, I forgot what the date is, but Brad is coming to Chicago. We're going to have a nice time and hang out. And I think
I always want to come to Chicago.
I know. You're more than welcome. Come on down.
Yeah, I try to get up there as often as possible. I need to see my family again. I haven't seen them in a while. But yeah, I need to get up there. It's been let's see, the last time I was in Chicago was January 2025. So it's been a while.
Yeah, it's time.
I really want to get up there. I want to get up there this summer and catch another Sox game.
Yeah.
But
I did the Sox opener, which was...
I saw those pictures. I was very jealous. I would have loved to have been there.
I was looking forward to the lunch. As you know, I'm not a big sports guy, so I was looking forward to having a nice lunch up there in the media area.
Hey, Steve just jumped in the chat. How's it going, Steve?
Hey, Steve.
See, I told you they just trickle in.
Yep.
That's okay.
Well, how about you, JD? Other than work, what have you been up to this week?
Saturday, I did another troop with the local Rebel Legion 501st guys. We actually went to the kids' child safety fair in Wichita that they hosted at the Sedgwick County Convention Center. We got to spend time with a lot of people that were just putting out information and it's kind of what it sounds like. It was for child safety and protection kind of things, with like the fire department, police department, a lot of child advocacy groups, including the local zoos and different groups that deal with the kids and things like that. So we got to be a part of those festivities and kind of take pictures and have fun with the kids and things like that. So Saturday was pretty much my day. And then Sunday, because of the constant weather changes and it being spring, I fell ill. So I didn't do a whole lot of anything, and that kind of thing. Other than when I felt good enough, I went in and did some reconstruction on my room because I acquired from Drew a very cool item that I will probably have to take pictures of or temporarily move into the room to show you guys. But it'll be a show me your thingy type of deal. So I did a little bit of remodeling in my room. And so I could show you guys something really cool that I've been waiting to get a hold of. And thanks to Drew, I now have possess one. So yeah, that was pretty much my weekend. Like I said, it was it's always a great time to go out and especially like the hospital visits and when you're doing stuff with like the kids, when you're doing it Star Wars characters, they always love it. And for some reason, Darth Vader is always the most popular guy to ever show up.
Of course.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. He's always the most popular guy. I don't get it. The kids freaking either they're terrified of him or they freaking love him, and they'll just go out of their way to hug him and knock him over. So, which always scares me. So yeah, always a fun time. I always enjoy spending time with those guys, and so yeah, that was my weekend. So yeah,
Doing it for the children.
heck yeah. How about you, Steve?
What do I usually do? I'm looking for work and
Any prospects?
no. I had it was a couple of weeks ago, but I had an interview a couple of weeks ago and didn't get that one, and that kind of put me in a mental tailspin, and yeah. But no, I haven't really haven't had any luck. So I did finish that course. That was back in January. So this is the whole thing. I finished that school back in January. You know which one I'm talking about, JD? The cybersecurity one?
Yes, sir.
And I had been waiting to get my voucher so that I could take my certification exam. So, a lot of back and forth with the school, and never got it, and it's been a whole thing, and so I finally got a hold of somebody, I don't know, about a month and a half ago, and they're like, yeah, we're backed up. You're going to get it in 7 to 14 business days. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. All right, whatever. So, the 14 business days went by and still no voucher. And I'm like, well, I can't really afford to take this test on my own. That's the whole thing with this school. I was going to take this school and learn how to do this thing. And then they were going to pay for my cert exam. And yeah, and I never got it. So I kept trying to get a hold of him. And I finally got a hold of one of the guys. And he's like, yeah, we're still backed up. And I'm like, well, we have an ETA. Why are you backed up? Why can't you just issue me a voucher? What is the big deal? Couldn't get any headway with that guy. So that was the company that actually provided the training that I had been getting in touch with. But the school that I actually enrolled in it through, so the other company was kind of like a vendor operation through an actual school. So I had nothing but no luck getting a hold of the school, because I'd tried them at the same time I'm trying to get a hold of this other place, and I couldn't get on. Finally, I get a hold of somebody at the school, and I tell them what's going on, and I'm pissed. I'm like, okay, I finished this fucking school back in January. It's fucking April. The whole reason I took this damn thing is so I could get a job, because I've been unemployed for well over a year. I need this freaking voucher so I can take this fucking test. I'm just pissed. At this point, I'm just so irritated talking to them. And they're like, well, we'll see if we can't get a hold of them and light a fire under. So anyway, finally, today, I get an email that says, okay, you should have the voucher by the end of the week. So I'm like, God, Jesus Christ. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I get this voucher, and then hopefully I pass it on my first try.
I got faith in you, buddy. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I think I should be. I should be.
I got faith in you.
What else do I have to do but study for this test? Can't find work. So yeah, I've been studying for this thing, and I want to say the passing score is a 70%. Let me double check that.
Aren't most of them that way?
I want to say it's 70%. Well, Okay, no, it's not 70%. It's 750 out of 100. So whatever that is, I can't math.
82%.
Okay, so
I just made that up. I'm not mathing either.
okay.
So.
Okay, any math whizzes out there? We need some help here.
How many questions is it?
I think it is 70. It's like 70-ish% because.
Yeah, it sounds like it's probably close to like 70, 75%.
Okay, hold on. I'll get the calculator out. And you were actually right. It was right at 82%. Okay. There's 90 questions. I want to say it's 90 questions on the exam.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
If I've got to get an 83%, I should be fine.
Yeah, good.
You can do it.
And then
you can go to the White Sox website careers section and look around there.
No. But seriously, once I get the certification, in theory, I should not have any trouble finding a job.
Good. Do it.
So, hopefully.
Matt says C's get degrees, so there you go.
That is true.
Steve, let's change the algorithm and instead of saying hopefully, say it's going to happen. Stop saying hopefully. Stop saying I hope I pass.
At this point, my optimism after being out of work for 16 months, it's just not there.
Yeah, well, we got to turn that frown upside down.
So anyway, other than that,
I got the utmost faith.
I sure hope so. But yeah, other than that, I didn't go to the theater any. I've been reading a lot of comic books. Me and Spencer did another comic shenanigans episode where we talked about the Punisher comic Welcome Back Frank. We did that Sunday. Yeah, that was Sunday. So that's on our YouTube channel if you haven't caught that one yet.
I was present for part of that.
Yes, you were.
Yes.
And then yesterday, one of the guys from our Discord server, Chris, and I did our first episode of Sports Ball Shenanigans.
Ooh.
We are doing a sports show where we talk about baseball and baseball and soccer.
Maybe you should talk about hockey because apparently you have it on the brain.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at the.
Isn't the World Cup? The World Cup is starting in June, I think.
That is right. The World Cup is going on. The Open Cup has been going on. They're at like round 3 or 4 by now.
And I only know that because they switched my schedule to 3 in the morning to 11 in the morning to cover some sports type things.
But yeah, those are. We decided to just stick to baseball and soccer because it's the two that we're most.
I was going to say I won't even ask if you guys even consider golf since the Masters just got over with.
Hell no. Who the hell watches golf?
Hey, I got a buddy at work that will literally like try to slice you in half if you turn his golf channel during the Masters. Because at work we have like a big TV so we can do meetings on it. So he literally will come to work and watch the Masters on the big screen TV.
Dude,
just so he can watch because he's like a golf nut.
I would rather watch flies fuck.
He's so descriptive about it.
And oddly specific.
And oddly specific. He has a specific mindset about watch golf, watch flies fuck. Let's see which one.
Easy choice.
Interesting. What about you folks in the chat? Would you rather watch flies fuck or watch golf?
Yes, these are the kind of questions that we must have answered.
There's Bear just jumped in the chat.
Why do you associate flies with bear?
I don't know. It just seemed like something to say.
Oh, and
We're sorry, Bear. We didn't do it. He did.
He did. Matt
Bear,
says you need 74.7 questions correct. So I'm pretty confident that
I should be all right.
I think you'll be all right.
Good.
We have utmost faith.
Bear was in the chat in our sports show last night, so that was a lot of fun. Anyway, so yeah, that's all I had for my week.
And yes, just in case you people are wondering, yes, nerds talk about sports. Yes.
Yeah, the first time I found that out, I was like, wow.
Nerds like baseball and soccer. What's up with that?
Bear, we were not talking about flies fighting. We were talking about flies doing something else.
We already said the word. I mean, we've already pretty much kicked the whole family thing out of the stream, so you might as well say it.
So Bear,
he was talking about flies fucking.
I was saying that I would rather watch flies fuck than watch golf. So there.
Hey, but it does make a good background ASMR if you want to go to sleep.
Wait, golf or flies fucking? Clear that up. Clear that up, JD.
Because apparently for Steve, it's somewhat entertaining because that's the first thing that he went to.
Some videos that I don't know about?
You said it. I didn't say it. You said it.
You know what, JD? Speaking of watching fly fuck.
Oh God!
Wow. Here comes a great transition. Let's wait for it.
We still need to do our first episode of the Popcorn's Better Than the Movie.
Okay, hold on a second. How the hell did you transition from flies fucking?
Okay, good question. Because, like golf, I would rather watch that than have to rewatch the movie that we're watching for our first episode.
We've been saying we're going to do it for a long time. So yes, you're absolutely correct. We do need to do it. We do need to start that series.
For reference, we are starting a new mini series or a new series called "The Popcorn is Better Than the Movie" or was better than the movie, where we talk about just bad movies. And the first episode we are going to be doing is Madam Web. So
I'll take the blame for that, Steve, because you know what? Honestly, I have not sat down and actually watched the movie. So as soon as I sit down and watch the movie, we can record it.
I have not rewatched it. I've been putting it off on purpose.
All I'm saying is that if I watch the movie and the next thing you know on Rebel Nerd Radio, you have to announce my obituary, it's all your fault.
And I was getting to that, Matt. So the correlation between flies fucking and watching Madam Web
is a huge pile of shit.
Is, Matt says, because Madam Web is shit.
Okay. All right. Now, see, once you run down the rabbit hole, I start to get it. We had to wind our way down the staircase of the rabbit hole.
Yeah, we had to squirrel around to it.
It's a reach.
Hey man, whatever works.
I got long arms, but damn.
Hey man, it works.
Hey.
All right. So, do I still have all this stuff set up?
How many beers will JD need to watch Madam Web? I'm thinking more like a freaking couple shots of whiskey.
Yeah, maybe something a little stronger.
You're gonna need.
I'm thinking it may take whiskey.
Yeah.
But who knows? If I can watch the movie with whiskey and then we do the show with whiskey involved, it might make it even that much more fun.
You know, it's funny. I've always, like, before I started the Scarif project, I've always wanted to do a drunk podcast talking about Star Wars. And I think maybe one day I'll just watch The Last Jedi and down a couple of beers, and then let's see what happens.
That could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Matt says, I triple dog dare JD to watch Madam Web this weekend.
I have a hot take. Madam Web is not as bad as everybody says, from my perspective. I even liked what's that other movie that everybody pans? The Marvel,
Morbius.
No.
Oh.
The one with the hell, the Eternals.
Oh.
I didn't mind the Eternals.
Okay.
Steve is
that should be another episode we do of The Popcorn Was Better Than the Movie.
I'm sure you'll get plenty of suggestions there.
See, now, Bear, I actually did like that movie. I did not despise that movie.
That's another one I haven't seen.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't the best MCU movie, but
I think it was entertaining for that time period.
It wasn't Madam Web bad,
Yeah. And I will say that I really enjoyed Miss Marvel on the small screen. And when she went to the big screen, I'm like, okay, so I was already familiar with her character, obviously, and the actress. There was a little bit of a magic to her portrayal of the character in the small screen. I loved her family in the show. So it translated well on the big screen. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I didn't I'm also one of the 12 people in the world that actually liked the show Secret Invasion. So.
That's another show too that I get the criticism, but I think I was good up to a point.
But see, I feel the same way when people say things bad about the sequels or the Acolyte. I'm like, I understand why people didn't like it.
Right.
I get the criticisms. I understand where they're coming from. Do I think it deserves that level of hatred that it gets? No. I understand it, but I don't think it deserves it. So I'm the same way. Yeah. Some people are like, oh my God, that's a huge pile of crap. But in other times, I'm like, there are good things and good things to take away from it. And I just don't think those get enough credit for the problems that everybody has.
Sure.
So Matt, I did.
And I didn't finish it. I did. I can't remember what. I think maybe 4 episodes I watched. There was so much to watch that I kind of fell off the horse there.
I actually ended up watching it all in one day.
Oh, okay.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, again, I'm not too familiar with the character of the comic books. I remember seeing him all over the place. I remember collecting the Marvel cards, and every time I opened up a card, I see 2 or 3 Wonder Mans in the pack, and I'm like, what the hell, man? So that's one of the things I remember about Wonder Man. But I mean, it's a fine story about an actor in Hollywood that may or may not have some sort of powers. I don't know. It was what it is. I didn't hate it.
See, I had the same thing with Moon Knight. So I knew who Moon Knight was, but I'd never read any of his stories, and I never knew much about the character. But after I watched the show, I was like, okay, that's freaking cool, because it had to do with Egyptian myth. It had to do with Egyptian mythology, which I love. Yeah. I mean, I like old mythologies. That's something great. I love history. And it had something to do with that, loosely based, of course. But it still had something to do with that. So, when I watched Moon Knight, I was like, this is kind of cool. I might actually be interested in watching more of this.
I've got some homework for you then.
Oh, God.
Coming up in a few weeks, Spencer and I are going to be doing a Moon Knight episode on Comic Shenanigans. I'll tell you which book you need to read to get prepared for it.
Okay.
It's not a big one.
I gotta watch Madam. Remember, I gotta watch Madam Web, and now I gotta read Moon Knight. So
Moon Knight is more important.
It's a lot of homework, and I do sense I sense a trend here: sports and shenanigans, comics and shenanigans. What's going on there?
That's right. We just love our shenanigans. Tonight is Star Wars shenanigans, so
there you go. Animation.
Darth Maul shenanigans, more specifically.
That's right.
There you go.
All right. Well, we will get to that, but let's do a little housekeeping here real quick. If you want to hang out with us in between episodes, the shenanigans continue on our social media accounts. So we got our Facebook, our Threads, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok when I remember to post on it. So you can get there by, why is that in white? Oh my gosh.
We can read it.
There we go. Okay.
This is what happens when we leave StreamYard.
Yeah. So go to bio.link/Rebel Nerd Radio. It's scrolling under there, underneath the row there. And see, this is so much easier to do on here than it is on OBS.
Yeah, I tried OBS. It was very convoluted.
We had, what did we do? 2 episodes of Rebel Nerd Radio,
and they were not good.
Nothing but problems.
A lot of connection issues, a lot of reverb, a lot of mic issues, and just So I told Steve, I said we need to go back because this is not working out.
He needs more Moon Knight comics, and it's like, well, Drew, we're going to be doing on Comic Shenanigans. We're going to be doing a Moon Knight episode. We'll talk more about it later. Anyway, social media. So you go to that link. That'll take you to our merch store. So go to our merch store. We've got shirts. We've got mugs. We've got fanny packs or whatever the hell TeePublic is calling them. We got stuff to buy. So go buy something, or we'll have Maul force choke you.
I'm gonna look up synonyms for fanny packs.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, you know what? I've already said it, so now I've got to go. I've got to go look and see what the hell they're called over there again. We just talked about this like last
they're
week.
Called they're not called a belly bag, are they? Were they called a belly bag? They were called.
I think I can't remember.
Sea bag, kit bag, carry all. Some French word called portmanteau.
Okay, there's the belt bag, and then there is a cross body bag. So here, let me show you what these look like.
So much easier to do here.
Yeah. So here is the belt bag.
Yeah, it's a fanny pack.
So basically a fanny pack.
Yeah, it's a fanny pack.
And then there's the cross body bag.
Oh, that's the difference. One is curved for his pleasure.
Exactly.
And the other one's not.
So go there and buy some. Make sure that if you are going to be going to what is the con we're going to in August?
Rebel ScumCon.
Yeah, Rebel ScumCon. If you guys are going to be going to Rebel ScumCon to hang out with us, make sure that you get your fanny packs.
Your satchels,
get all that stuff.
I don't know if we're going to be wearing them.
Rebel Nerd
I'm not
satchel.
buying one. I can't afford that. But yeah. So that'll take you to our merch store, and then it'll also take you to our Discord. So join the Discord server where the shenanigans never stop.
Non-stop shenanigans.
Non-stop shenanigans. 24/7, 365. All kinds of. We've got a big group on our Discord server, and there's always something going on over there.
We have a. You didn't say enough about it. It's a big, great group. We have an awesome group.
Yeah, I wouldn't call all of them great. I mean,
they're great for different reasons. They may be great at bullshit. They may be great at being jerks, but they're great.
There you go.
Oh wait, no, we don't really.
No, our Discord group is great. It was just we
don't have that.
We always have a lot of fun in there, and
always.
Matt says, "I'm not buying one if the hosts of the show aren't going to rock one." I just simply can't afford one. So if you buy one for me, then maybe.
Drew says he'll wear 2, one for him and one for me.
There you go.
Done.
And then also on that bio link, if you want to help keep this thing running, consider becoming a patron. You can join for only $2 a month. And that gets you all the early access content, gets you the cool swag. Like right now, we just have the 2 stickers. I need to get more, but I can't afford it right now. I've got other sticker like designs, just haven't bought them yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then JD's got some stuff that he 3D prints at home that he's been sending out. So that's a lot of cool stuff there. So all that for just $2 a month. And if that's not enough.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. you get to hear us say your name on the air.
Say my name.
Let us say your name. Thank you to all our wonderful patrons. Dave Brown, Kelly and Chris Olson, Justin Hensley, Charlie Kirby, Chantel Gonzalez, Brennan, Brian, Steve Lyle, aka Steve Spawn, aka Steve number 2,
So many
Matthew,
Steves.
Taco Cat, Smirking Bear, Adam, and Drew. Thank you for being our wonderful patrons. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for contributing so we can get back on StreamYard and stay on StreamYard. Even though, I mean, it is.
Speaking of Spencer, there's Spencer.
There's the Dingus Dan. I've got to contact Spencer because I got a Spider-Man show that I want to see if he wants to come on with me for.
Ooh, I like Spider-Man.
There's a Spider-Man exhibit here at the Museum of Science, I think it's the Field Museum? No, the Science Museum. And I think I'm going to talk to the organizer and make it into a podcast. Should be a lot of fun. And I'll let you know so you can listen to my Spider-Man story of how, as a child, I tried to obtain the proportional strength and powers of a spider.
You want to hear something? You want to hear something cool, Spider-Man related? And I could send the picture to Steve.
Always.
One of the featured people at the children's fair that we went to this weekend was Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was cool, but Spider-Man was not cool or not completely cool until I handed him my Qui-Gon Jinn version of my lightsaber, and Spider-Man had a lightsaber for a while. Now imagine Spider-Man with a lightsaber. I'm just throwing it out there.
Nice.
So I of course am a fairly big fan of Spider-Man, but funny story about my experience with Spider-Man. My very first experience with Spider-Man, strangely, was not a comic book. My first experience was the 1977 TV show. I was, probably 5 years old when that came out.
Not the Electric Company, but the actual show with Nicholas Hammond?
Like the show, yeah. That was the first time I had seen Spider-Man. Then I saw him in Electric Company. And I was like, oh, what is this?
Because you've got a little gray in your beard that I think that I would have thought that it would have been the Electric Company.
No, actually, I didn't see that until after I saw
Gotcha.
the TV show. But okay, so I am uploading this image that make sure you like and subscribe to YouTube. That's not what I was trying to do. Okay. Where is it at? Oh, it's in the correct format too. Good job. So there it is.
Nice.
Spider-Man with a lightsaber. All right.
Very nice.
Maybe a little awkward, but imagine the things he could accomplish.
So Matt, I'm not saying it was a great show. I'm just saying that was my first experience with Spider-Man.
It was a fantastic show.
Okay. So
my first was the cartoon. So
that's good.
Yeah.
So this is usually the part of the show where we do our drawn to the Force, but there are no comics, Star Wars comics coming out this week. So wah. So
we go directly to.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think, other than Maul's the Darth Maul series, I think most of the Star Wars comics are on pause right now. I feel like.
I could see that.
Could be right. Wasn't there a Darth Maul comic that came out slightly before the release of the first 2 episodes?
It's still ongoing. They're on issue number 2.
Well, that's not on pause, Steve.
That was last week. That's what I was saying, other than the Darth Maul comic.
Gotcha.
In fact, last week, I showed Steve had one of these already, but he had a Jar Jar Binks #1 that was Black History Month. And then they did a Darth Maul alternate cover that was for Women's History Month. So it was issue #1 with Women's History. So I actually showed that, I think, a couple weeks ago. Very cool. Very cool covers. The only thing I didn't like was Vanessa Rowe on the cover, but it is what it is.
Well, you know.
Is Artie talking about V, the series, the lizard transformation? Oh, the lizard transformation of Spider-Man. So Brad doesn't like the. Do you guys remember the TV show V, the series?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Loved it.
Yeah.
Remember when?
Oh yeah. Loved V.
Remember when she had the baby and it turned out to be a lizard?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Brad scarred for life.
No, the next Shadow
I can see
of
it.
Maul comic book does not hit stands until May 16th. Alrighty, but since we're not doing Joe on the Force, that brings us to everybody's favorite segment. Show me your thingy.
Or as some people like to collectively call it, how JD spends his paycheck.
Or what
You're
it
not
used
wrong.
to be called show and tell time, but
Yeah.
the chat room decided it needed a better name, and there we have it. We are doing thingy time.
Very nice.
So, I don't have anything Star Wars related, but I was at the Renaissance Fair this weekend. That's what I did this weekend. There we go. I didn't talk about that.
I love the Renaissance.
I was at the Renaissance Fair this weekend, and my wife, I was wandering off doing something. My wife comes up with this bag, and she bought this. I don't know how well the camera is going to catch it. So it is
that's cool. Little cat.
It is an otter. It's an
Yeah.
otter holding a D20.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
It's a D20 holder. So yeah,
That's
Very
cool.
fitting.
it's a little otter holding a D20. So
Very
that was
fitting.
that was the only thing. Well, I didn't buy it. My wife bought it, but I was going to say that's the only thing I got outside of food at the Renaissance Fair.
Turkey leg.
I did not buy those things. Were like $30.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they're like this big.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can probably.
No,
feed
I
your
ended up
family.
buying I bought an $8 bratwurst.
Or a $12 alligator burger.
See, they didn't have those. That would have been nice.
I
One
like the
year-
turkey legs. The turkey legs are
Turkey legs, yeah, they're good.
Yeah, but I ain't spending $30 on a damn turkey leg.
that is a little hefty.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ro, did you have something you wanted to show off for show and tell time?
You know, from time to time, I post images of Star Wars items that I find at thrift stores, and I love the hunt. I love finding things. I have found so many things. This one is particularly unique because I think somebody made it, and it is a clone trooper, but made from car parts, welded together. You see the
That is cool.
I think there's a spark plug or some sort of oil valve is the base.
That is
And
awesome.
the spring, they made the skirt. They coated it in some sort of lacquer. But look at that.
That's pretty cool.
That is a dedicated Star Wars fan right there.
Yeah. And it's heavy as frack.
Yeah.
But it's pretty hefty and heavy. But yeah, this is pretty cool. So this is like the drive chain are the legs and then the feet of the vehicle. But yeah, it's just pretty cool. Check that out.
That is awesome.
That is pretty
is
cool.
awesome.
Well, JD, that's the one to beat.
I got
Not that it's a competition, but I think Ro wins this week.
I
Fun
agree
stuff, fun
completely.
stuff.
I kind of wish I'd have went second so I didn't have to follow up to that because now I feel like I'm like, okay, I give up. I don't have a show me thing. I know I didn't get a chance to show it. I was going to tell this before because Ro kind of pointed it out. Yeah, this is the Grunt style May the 4th collection shirt, one of them anyway. You can kind of see the Death Star on it. I thought it was funny because like FAFO Death Star. So I was like, yeah, this is kind of funny. I like this. And I'm going to wear it again, but I had a second one that I bought that I really liked. And I wore it the other day, but it was one of our streams that didn't go so well. So I didn't really get a chance to kind of highlight it. And we had a lot to talk about that day. So I really didn't get a chance to show it, but I'll wear it again and show it to everybody and that kind of stuff. But my other thing that I wanted to show was kind of relevant to this. Everybody knows I kind of pick up my favorite of the Black Series, and when I find one that has special characters or special parts to it in the Black Series of Star Wars, I always try to pick these up. So this is actually the three main characters, or what I would consider to be some of the three main characters from the Phantom Menace. It is Mr. Qui-Gon Jinn in the 6-inch, Mr. Darth Maul,
Nice,
and Apprentice Obi-Wan Kenobi. But yeah, this was in a 3-pack.
Oh wow!
That they put out for it. So, and it has the artwork on the side of it. So it has all three of them in that nice, awesome artwork that they put out. But yeah, and the thing I like about these the most is a lot of them, if you kind of look there, you can kind of see it with Darth Maul there. Darth Maul's cape is full soft goods, as well as Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan's, all their capes and robes and everything are all soft goods. Like their inner tunics and stuff for the plastic, but their outer are soft goods, which is, you don't see that a lot because a lot of times they just do the plastic and then paint it and make it look nice or whatever. But I really like the soft goods on these, and the fact that they came in a 3-pack and
very nice.
So yeah.
Is that from 1999 or is that like a reissue?
Oh, this is definitely a reissue. This is definitely when did they put this one out? Let's see here. Hang on a second. This is an exclusive they did for 2023.
Oh, very nice.
So yeah, I've actually had this in my collection. Haven't had a chance to show it to everybody, but I've had this for quite some time, and I purchased it a while back, and I just haven't had a chance to show it to everybody. But I thought it'd be relevant tonight with the Darth Maul and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So pretty.
I like finding some good Black Series figures. There's, if I ever see like stormtroopers, I can never pass up a good stormtrooper. I always have a couple on hand.
I used to for a while, but because I don't really have the room to do it, there for a while I was making a solid attempt at being a completionist. Oh yeah, I was making a solid attempt at being a completionist with Black Series, but you just can't. You can't do it. It's just no way.
Next time I see Todd over from WSTR, I'm gonna have him sign it because this is Todd.
Nice.
He's 501st Midwest Garrison, and I'm just gonna have him sign it. I think that'd be cool.
Heck yeah! My intention is next Rebel ScumCon. Ray Park was supposed to be there. And I won't go into details why he didn't make it. If you don't know, look it up. I'm not gonna.
Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
I'm not. You can look up why. Just don't look up don't look up get in too far with the why. But if you know, you know. If you don't, well, I research it at your own risk. But anyway, my plan was to have him sign it, but unfortunately, he is not going to be able to attend. And I don't see Liam Neeson or I don't see either of them making it. So, or Ewan McGregor making it. So, unfortunately, that's not going to happen with this piece. But there's other people that are showing up. So,
you know what?
Star Wars Celebration next year.
If Liam Neeson if they announce that Liam Neeson shows up for Rebel ScumCon, I'm going to go buy a physical copy of the Naked Gun movie and have him sign it.
If he was to actually say he was going to show up, I swear to God, my back of my truck would be full of stuff that I would like him to sign, including the new lightsaber that I just recently got and a few other things. I'd be like, that thing's going on a shelf. It's not moving. Here you go. And so, yeah, there would be a truckload of stuff. Right now, I'm debating. I'm thinking I'm going to take the helmet for the Stranger to Rebel ScumCon because Manny Jacinto is going to be there. So I'm thinking I'm going to try to get a selfie and an autograph from him because – as far as I'm concerned, he is one of the best things from the Acolyte. I think he's one of the best things to come out of it. So, I would be thrilled if he'd be able to sign it. So I'm going to try to do that.
That'd be cool.
For sure.
Nice.
All right. Well, it is time to jump in to some Maul Shadow Lord. So yesterday, they did episode 3 and 4. So again, if you're watching and you have not watched
Spoilers.
the episodes yet, there will be spoilers. We do not keep this spoiler free. And we're letting you know ahead of time. So, yeah.
You
so
people,
fire it up.
you people in our chat and who listen to us, you should know that already. I mean, you should really know that we don't use free spoilers.
Pretty much. So overall, we kind of talked about this a little bit prior to going live. Once again, the animation was stellar. The score was amazing. It didn't disappoint. JD had some thoughts, and now I can't remember what they were. Just overall, it was definitely a good continuation of the series. So overall, let's start with Ro. What do you think of 3 and 4?
1 and 2 were pretty damn good, and then 3 and 4 just kept on getting higher and higher quality wise. The story. I'm reading a lot of kind of like behind the scenes stuff. It's the first animated series to mix in 7.1 surround stereo. So if you have that system, or if you have some really good headphones, you should try it out. The art style is quite unique. There's it's got this brushed stroked look. It's fantastic. As a camera guy myself, I have noticed that this series has no business looking as good as it does when it comes to camera placement, rack focuses, camera moves, composition. It's really just well done.
I agree. I really love the shots of the city. And I said that last week, but just something about the shots of the city are just freaking amazing.
And it's funny because there's a term that filmmakers use when they want to pause everything and then just get establishing shots. They say, let it breathe. And I think George Lucas did a lot of that. When Luke goes outside and the twin sounds and you hear the music, I mean, there's no action. He's just pondering life. Mm-hmm. And it's giving the audience a moment to kind of world build and see his surroundings. And I think this animation does a lot of it. But I think I think I'm noticing a lot more of this during this series than any of the other series, because the wide shots are beautiful. The shots of the city with the action going through. I mean, there's some things that they linger a little longer, and you're like, oh, this is really nice. And I think they're doing a really good job of kind of giving us a look inside of this world that we've been thrust into. And it just looks spectacular.
Yeah, I mentioned it last week, but the world building so far in this series there's so
much texture. You can't just watch. It's one of those shows that you can't just watch once and just be done with it. You have to go back because there's a lot of hidden things in the shadows. Again, depending on how you watch it, but there's a lot of stuff that's there that you might miss in the first viewing.
Right.
And it's beautiful.
Right. Because you watch it, and the first time you're watching it because you want to see the story, you want to see what's going on, and then the second time around you just catch little things.
Yeah.
Like last week when I was saying, like the second watch through, it was the score that really stood out to me.
Yeah. I noticed it more this week.
Yeah.
It was ghostly, it was ethereal, it was mysterious. I think does the Kiner family still doing the music on this?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think it's the same people.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because their skill set and their ability has just skyrocketed. And I know they do other stuff. Like there's Dark Sky. They do the show Dark Sky. They do some other stuff.
Yeah,
But
they did the music for the whole series, is what I'm saying.
it's phenomenal.
It's really good.
Yeah.
So Bear said that the animation is still my favorite part of the series.
And I will say that each animated show, when it comes to Star Wars, has had kind of a different feel to it. Obviously, Clone Wars, you've got Rebels. I know a lot of people didn't watch Resistance, but that was a little different. Obviously, all the visions, the Star Wars visions, are unique in their style. And I'm glad that they're kind of experimenting and then showing us what can be done with animation, because so far, I mean, each show, it's been, getting higher and higher when it comes to the ability of the artist to portray these things in animation. And it's hyper. I feel like sometimes you see a shot and it's like hyper real, and it's animation, but you're like kind of wondering and like, wow, I feel like I can actually walk through my TV and be there. Really great stuff.
Yeah. Anything to add, Jetty?
I mean, Ro hit a lot of great points. I mean, and a lot of this we have the same kind of feeling about it. The one thing I did notice, and I've heard some comments and I've seen some people online talk about, is that there are so many shots as far as the animation and the pictures and like the frames and everything. There's so many shots that could be like posters.
Yes.
You can hang up as be a poster and you'd be happy to hang in your house because it's so impressive. The standoff between Maul and the two Jedi, just the pictures of Maul and the paintbrush and the strokes and stuff like that. I love the fact that they're not trying to, like some shows you'll see, they try to do an animation where it doesn't they're trying to cross that boundary between live action and animation. It's animation, but they're trying to be as live action as possible. I love the fact that they're doing the brush strokes, and I love the fact that when you look at the backgrounds, you see the paintings and you see you see all that paintbrush kind of style, because it's like they're embracing the fact that it's animation, but they're trying to turn it into a show you can watch, but also a visual masterpiece of animation. And to me, like you said, Ro, to me, they're stepping it up every time. It just looks like it gets more and more impressive every time. And one of the things that, and Steve, you know where I watched the first two episodes. So one of the things that they discussed specifically when they talked about the things that sorry. One of the things that they discussed in the panel is that they said, we were kind of talking about the battle between Maul and Ahsoka in season 7, where they actually did mocap. They went back and they did mocap, and then they translated that into animation, and you could see definitively how much difference there was in that, the animation between when they had their duel as opposed to other duels that you saw in the Clone Wars, and how much more fluid and how much more better it was. And they've kind of done the same thing here. They said they did a lot of this where they would animate and they would look at, frame by frame, and then they would mocap it, and then they would translate and they would combine the two of them together using digital technologies. And I love that fact. I love the fact that we're actually getting physical people doing it, but they're just, they're matching it with animation so that we get those more fluid fights. We get those things that feel like they're more real, but you can definitely tell from the animation and the way they put the thought into it that they're embracing the animation, but they're using real world technology to make that happen, in a sense of like mocap. So that, like I said, that continues to impress with me. As far as the soundtrack is concerned, I heard all kinds of snippets from all kinds of different things. I heard from Phantom Menace, the Darth Maul, that kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, but that hiss, that, whatever. I'm sorry, I'm probably doing it wrong, but when you first see Darth Maul on Tatooine and they kind of have that, whatever that is, that chant or whatever it is, and like I said, I can totally well, not that one, but the other one, the kind of like
almost like the Jason Voorhees.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that thing. Yeah, that thing. You heard that. They played a snippet of that when you were watching the show. They played a snippet of that, which was great. That was awesome. And then I heard through some of the background information and some of like the behind the scenes that they actually incorporated Sam Witwer's scream of like the Darth Maul scream that he does, like if he screams Kenobi or Filoni or whatever. They actually incorporated that into the Kyber crystal, or when he's swinging his, he's swinging his lightsaber.
Right.
And they said that they kind of went into a mythical storytelling of Star Wars that way, where for the people who are attuned to it and can hear it, the Kyber crystal almost has like a song that it sings that only people who are attuned to the Force can hear. And for Darth Maul, it's fear, it's pain, it's anger, it's all these things. And so they incorporated that into the swing of his lightsaber. And so they said it's very subtle, but you can hear it. And if you go back, and it's one of those things, like you were saying, you can't just watch it once and get the entire effect. You have to watch it over again. And like my girlfriend had not seen the first 2 episodes, so we went back and watched the first 2 episodes. So the experience was like, wow, I picked up on more things. And yeah, it's something you're definitely going to have to do. I think I encourage people to do that. Go back and watch it and then watch it again and just look for those hidden things that you don't see the first time around and kind of see it here, but then see it here the second time. So you do see all that.
Yeah, and I want to go back to something you said, DJ. A couple things.
That's JD, not DJ.
Yeah, my dyslexia.
It's all good. It's all good.
No, but there's something about being able to sit down, if you're a creative person at Lucasfilm, to sit down and plan something as deeply as it seems like this series has been planned. Everything from utilizing Whitward's scream and the lightsabers to the representation of everything in the series. And the other thing that you said regarding moving the technology forward, when the sequels came out, I remember George Lucas saying, The Force Awakens was okay, but it doesn't seem like they pushed the envelope from a technology standpoint. And obviously the original trilogy, you had a lot of technology that was moved forward because George Lucas just kept on getting these ideas. And then obviously the prequel trilogy, that was blown wide open because George Lucas wanted to do certain things and he couldn't yet. So he had to wait. The technology needed to catch up to his imagination. And we didn't see a lot of that in the sequel trilogy. And I think, as an older Star Wars fan, that is one aspect of the films that I was looking forward to because I love behind the scenes stuff. And I think when it comes to moving the technology forward for Star Wars storytelling, it's a shame that it wasn't done as much in the sequel trilogy. And it looks like they're going back to their roots and doing it in the Star Wars animation for whatever reason. But it does seem like they are offering us something new in the technology to be able to tell these stories. And I think I love that. And it's fantastic.
Well, one thing I did hear, and it kind of pertains to this, is that I agree with you. I agree with that they're utilizing, because it seems like in a lot of ways, not just Star Wars, but it seems like in a lot of ways, like some of the TV shows and some of the movies that we've been seeing, there's been a lot of complaints about people saying that the CGI is starting to fall flat because they're trying to cram all this stuff together, but they're trying to do it low budget, so they're not using as much in the way of like animation and like the technologies and the CGI that's available to them. And one question or one response that I heard directly to the criticism that you're making that I heard other people make is that people said that they felt like George relied a little bit too much on CGI during the prequels. So something that they were trying to do was not rely so much on it and try to turn back to more practical effects, which I agree to a certain extent, because I think if you try to do it too much, then it almost looks like it's fake in a way, because like some of the things they can do, it can be overdone if you don't rely on, when you need CGI, go the limit. I mean, go as far as you can with it. And I completely agree with you on that. But when you're talking about like real worlds, like special effects or real world action and things that happen between people, I think they need to take that to the maximum effect that they can. So that way you get that blend of both of them at the same time. And I like I said, I kind of tend to agree with you that they almost was like they were too worried that they would go too far with it. So they didn't. And I think this show is kind of showing that can be done if you have the right combination.
Yeah. And the right of, sure. And planning. I mean, I'm doing a rewatch of Mandalorian season 3 to get ready for the movie and stuff like that. And I do notice that that the space battles, the stuff that ILM did, doing space battles and dogfights, I mean, that stuff is flawless. ILM can do that with their eyes closed. It looks fantastic. It looks great. some of the stuff that some of the fights and battles on ground, like on Navarro with the Mandos and this and that, that's where things start to get a little bit more, staccato and truncated and routine. There's no newness. There's no sense of dread, because it does seem like it's very rehearsed. And I think one of the things that's one of the things that I noticed during the Ahsoka show, the lightsaber battles, as cool as they were, on first glance, it does seem like it's like, okay, step one, step through, step three, arch over here. And it seemed a little slower. To me, the saber battle, the duel of the fates with Maul and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, that still to me is the top lightsaber battles ever. Nothing has matched it since 1999.
And see, some of the ways that you were talking about, like with CGI and technologies and things like that. See, one of my criticisms as being an original trilogy fan and seeing like the battles between Darth Vader and Luke and like Obi-Wan and Vader and like the one in Empire Strikes Back. From my perspective, and this is just from my personal opinion, one of my perspective, is that I did love the lightsaber battles in the prequel trilogy. But to me, when I first saw it, I said I like them. But to me, it's lightsaber dancing. Yeah. Because it's almost as if you could smell the choreography coming off of it. It didn't feel like the actors and the people were making the decision. It just felt like it was so rehearsed that you were like, you see that it was, the choreography was overdone. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't cool. I'm just saying, to me, it was like lightsaber dancing, because it was like, there's no way that you could, you couldn't do that and then have that kind of battle take place in a real world scenario. It was so fast and it was so fluid, and they actually slowed some of it down because it was so fast.
Yeah.
Because they knew the moves. They knew the moves so well.
Yeah.
That it was like they didn't even have to question it. They just knew it. And it was like, to me, it was like, it's perfect. It's great. It's cool. I like it. But it is, you can 100% tell that there was nothing that was unchoreographed. It felt like, it just felt so much like choreography that I was like, okay, it's more like dancing than it is like it felt like an actual battle.
Yeah, and then, there's two lines of reasoning and thought with that. Obviously, the behind the scenes, one was done in the 70s. The other one is a little bit more modern, many, many years later.
Right.
They couldn't really do a lot of stuff with the lightsabers in the original trilogy because they were spinning rods, and you can't really, you can't fight as fast as you could have if you didn't have the spinning rods and the reflective tape on it. So, and then like in universe too, you have to understand that, Darth Vader and old Obi-Wan were, two warriors of a forgotten time. And, they forgot the lightsaber dance, if you will, to use your term. And, the prequel trilogy, had, Jedi in their prime, and it was like a dance, and it was more formal when you think about, martial arts and the moves that each technique has. It is, quite different. You put those same warriors, in a scenario where they're fighting maybe 30 years later, it's definitely going to be a lot different.
And exactly the points that you've brought up, I've defended the prequels on that front. And for me to say what I said is not a negative. I'm not saying it is a negative. It was just something that I kind of saw as an observation. It's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like you said earlier, with this show and with the technology that they're integrating with all the new tech and all the things that are coming out and all the advancements they're coming up with, now they're incorporating that along with the fantastic artwork that they're doing with the show. They're incorporating that same technology back into it, and not only are they concentrating full force on the story, but they're also concentrating. It seems like they're going 100% in on the artwork, which is a great decision. And then they're using every bit of technology they have available to them to make it feel more fluid, to make it feel like it's more grounded and not so much animation that it doesn't feel like you can't be a part of it, which is fantastic from season 7.
Sure.
Some of the the fight between Darth Maul and Ahsoka, loved it. That was great. Probably one of the, animation or otherwise, probably one of the, in the top tier discussions as far as lightsaber duels is concerned. I feel
JD, Matt's son Luke challenged you to a lightsaber dance.
done. I'm in.
All right, getting back to Maul.
We were kind of there. We were
there in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
So one of
JD,
the
you better wear a cup.
wear a cup. Oh,
He said I better wear a cup. Okay.
Yeah.
A red Solo cup.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I'm gonna well, you know what? We haven't even done a synopsis of these episodes. So let's do a real brief, very brief synopsis of each episode. Chapter 3, Whispers in the Unknown. So we come in where Maul's hideout, and okay, I gotta say, this is one of the funniest moments of the show. Is freaking Darth Maul sitting down for tea.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm gonna cross the streams for just a minute. What other show do you feel like that referenced? And I can throw a hint out there, but when I saw that, this is the first thing I thought of. And just so you people know, it's not Ghostbusters, but it's crossing the streams. So
Karate Kid?
what? No. Recent sci-fi on the same level, not on the same level, but almost the same level as like say Star Wars. It's been recent. A same kind of character, same kind of thing, same situation where he's okay. I'll just throw it out there. I'm not going to
Starfleet Academy.
Okay. No, close. You're on the right track. Yep. So
Spock. Undiscovered
one more
Country.
guess. No, not Spock.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. So how many of you saw Star Trek Picard?
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember the scene where the gal meets Worf, and we see Worf for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, the bane of Duras, the bane of this,
yeah.
the bane of that. He's like, how do you take your tea? And she's like, that is what it made me think of. The first time I saw that, I went, Worf. When he says, I'm the bane of this, I'm the badass, I have a sword, I have this, I'm the bane of, son of blah, and we know Worf as being this badass Klingon. And he goes, how do you take your tea? And I'm going, what? Like,
no,
I'm like, wow. And
I thought
like,
that was great. Freaking Darth Maul.
No, it was fantastic because number one, it was just funny because you think of Darth Maul and the next thing you know, he's out there serving tea like a tea ceremony, like a Japanese tea ceremony.
Yeah.
That's also what I thought of. I had so many things come up when that scene happened. It was just so many things were going through my head. But it was like a Japanese tea ceremony, like in between, as a kind of a friendship thing. And if I'm screwing up the Japanese tea ceremony, please don't come at me. I kind of know a little bit about it, but I don't want to screw up and say something about it that's wrong. So that's why I'm trying, But anyway.
So they sit down for tea, which is great. And then they get into a fight. The fight begins. Maul basically turns off all the lights. And that was awesome.
That was a great sequence.
I was gonna get to that, but we might as well. We're there. Let's talk about it. That fight sequence was great. It's just like the mystery of it wasn't like it wasn't a fast-paced battle. It was just kind of like he was toying with her. You knew he was toying with her.
What do you guys think of Maul's characterization in this series? And I said something to Brad last week on Saturday. He makes me feel like he's more Grand Admiral Thrawn at this stage than he is Maul. He's very deliberate in his planning. He's very, it seems like he has a goal and he's using his knowledge at this point to kind of get to realize that goal.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's
And something I was going to tell it to Steve, because you kind of jumped from that little tea ceremony up to the fight between the two of them, which I completely agree with all that. But
Agreed there.
also, what was it?
He said it was more a taunt than a fight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was more. Yeah, he was definitely not going full force.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll get to the other fight, but this fight, he was definitely not going full force. But the thing about it that it stood out to me, and it's something that I've kind of been looking forward to and paying attention to in future Star Wars projects, where like in Andor, we had the Lothan speech, and like they've kind of put more emphasis on the dialect and like the conversations between people, and like having these moments where there's such standout like monologues that people have with these, and interactions like between Deidre and Lothan, and then Lothan and the other guy, when they have these monologues that are just something that sticks in your brain, and you're like, oh my God, that was fantastic. Now to sit here and say that I could remember every part of it, I want to watch it again, because I really want to kind of take the context of the conversation between the two of them before they broke out in a fight. And it was so cool, because it was Maul discussing with her the similarities between what he went through and what happened to the Jedi Order, and how Devin had this preconceived notion and idea about who Maul was and what his goals were.
Right.
And now that he's come full circle, and he's actually almost kind of has this ambition to want to play a guide and almost like a master to her, he's trying to appeal to the fact that what happened to the Jedi and what happened to him are not that dissimilar. He was raised to be this badass Sith Lord, and he was betrayed by his master, and the same master that betrayed him also betrayed the Jedi Order and got the Jedi Order killed.
Drew, I did not put the 2 and 2 together on that, but now that you mention it, so that was the tea that he was making when he's planning the Shadow Collective with Pre Vizsla.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fan of tea.
He likes tea.
Hey, why not? I like tea. I like, certain types of tea. But that part where he's actually trying, and then the whole time he's taunting her, and before they actually go at it with each other, the part where he's taunting her, I mean, that whole interaction, that whole conversation, I think is worth the kind of an analysis, because it's, he obviously, when she grabs the lightsaber and he has to go dark and he's talking to her, it's not about him trying to convince her anymore. It's just showing her that, hey, you're being stubborn, you're being stupid, you're not listening to what I'm having to say. I'm not your enemy, someone else is. And kind of if you really think about what's going on, we're not that different, other than Maul is Maul, and we all know about Maul, but she doesn't know enough about him other than the stories that she's heard to know the difference between that Maul and the Maul that we're seeing here. And it kind of goes into your discussion about character progression. I would never think I would see Maul sit down and offer tea to someone that he's trying to manipulate.
Yeah.
I never thought that would be something that we would see from Maul. And in this series, they're trying to just expand his, what we don't know about him. They're diving into what we really don't know, what we really have not understood that character. But now that we see what he's doing, and like you said, the meticulous, the planning, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, he's still a badass, because we see it. But the meticulous, the thought process, the planning, and even the mystery of what he doesn't know and why it's driving him to do what he's doing, he kind of sees, and he thinks Devin is that force that's pulling him in a different direction. You kind of see him start to embrace that and look at it, and now he's trying to convince her that, hey, look at what's really going on here. Look at the way the universe is set up now. And she's like, and he even says it at one point in the conversation. He says something about, we're defenders of peace and justice, and that's not what you are. And he's like, what peace and justice are you going to find in a galaxy that hates you? Yeah. And he's trying to turn all that against her and that kind of thing. So I think before they even had that duel, the duel is not just between lightsabers. The duel is between him and her, and him trying to convince her that mentally trying to duel with her better sense of judgment and her better sensibility to say, think about what's going on. Actually look at this and analyze what's actually happening.
All right, so they have the fight, and then we switch over to Lawson. and Lawson has to leave to go watch his son's sporting event.
Sporting shenanigans.
Sporting shenanigans, yeah. And while he's at this event, the Jedi Master, Daki,
Uncle Daki.
Uncle Daki has a conversation with him. And while all this is going on, Two Boots is
Dust duty, isn't he?
He's doing what's that now?
At this point, was he assigned to desk duty because he kept trying to call the Empire?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. So Two Boots goes to check out this conversation between the Pikes and some other folks, and there's an ambush. The Mandalorians show up and destroy the shipment, take off, and then they get back to the police precinct or whatever you can call it, and that's when Two Boots and Lawson have the conversation about calling in the Empire. Again, Lawson doesn't want the Empire there. Two Boots is like all about protocol. And that's when Two Boots goes over his head and goes to the chief. And then this episode ends with basically the end of the lightsaber duel between Maul and Devin. She finds a way to escape, and he takes back his lightsaber, and that's where the sun goes down on this episode.
She finds a way to escape.
Well, basically, he lets her escape, really.
He lets her go.
Wait, does he let her go, or does Maul coax her into, finding her, I guess, her spirit animal, if you will, to use the Force and really go? Because I think it's almost like he's coaxing her and allowing her to say, yeah, absolutely. I think he's kind of priming her to use a certain part of her feelings to latch on to not the light side of the Force like she's used to, but maybe something a little bit more sinister, because at the end of the day, I think he wants to use her as a tool.
Well, if you think about it, part of the lightsaber duel, she actually loses control and kind of goes angry.
Right. Yeah.
Which means that potential is there. And I think at that point he figured out, or I think he kind of went, oh, okay, yeah, it's definitely there, and I can work with this.
Right.
And he's like, for now, I'll let her go, because eventually he knows they're going to cross paths again. I think he understands that. And so he's seen what he saw what she was capable of, and he saw that there was that potential there. So he's like, well, I got what I needed for now. I'll let her go, and this isn't over. And I think he knew that.
Yeah, there's a weird little parallel too between this battle and the battle on Bespin with Vader and Luke. There is a point where Vader is just taunting Luke. Little by little, he's taunting him. Vader overpowers Luke when he goes through the window there, and there's a moment where Luke feels a little bit more powerful and vindicated, and all of a sudden Vader just swoops on him and starts wailing on his ass. But I think that's kind of like, that seems like a Sith thing, I'm going to take 2 steps forward and maybe 1 step back to allow you to feel like you're gaining on me, but in reality, you're not.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, honestly, I think I don't know if she understands it or thinks it, and maybe she's too young to. If he wanted her dead, he would have killed her. I mean, he wouldn't even.
Oh, yeah.
100%. So I don't. She even admitted, she's like, I wouldn't fight you in a duel to the death because I don't have that skill. I know I can't beat you. Yeah. She's like, I'm just trying to find a way out. I just want out. And so she admits, I can't do it. There's no way.
So I want to discuss briefly, again, Maul's followers. We talked about this a little bit last week, and how, because I mentioned I like the inclusion of the Mandalorians, because I like Mandalorians, and it was very interesting to me that they were still following him. But it dawns on me, and it should have dawned on me last week when we were talking about it. It dawns on me while I'm watching this. Maul never lost the darksaber. He never lost it. So, in essence, it makes a lot more sense that some of those Mandalorians are still following him, because technically he is still King of Mandalore, because he hasn't lost the darksaber. He doesn't possess it, but it's because at this point it's still hidden. It's still hidden on Dathomir.
He didn't lose it in the traditional fashion.
Right. He did not lose it.
Right.
He never lost it. Sabine just found it.
Yeah.
So these Mandalorians, which we saw a lot less of. In fact, I don't even think Rook had a speaking part, or not as much as she did last week.
Not in this episode, but the 4th episode, I think she had a lot more.
Yeah.
There's a lot of action. There was a lot of stuff happening.
There was a lot of stuff going on. There was a lot more action in these 2 episodes, but it dawned on me. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense that the Mandalorians would be following him because he's still their leader. But we touched on the idea before I jump into a synopsis of chapter 4. We touched a little bit on his motives, and you notice how the storyteller is slowly he's putting the pieces together slowly of Maul becoming this huge crime lord again.
Lawson is? Or
the storyteller, the story overall is slowly putting these pieces together.
Yeah.
They don't just jump in and go, oh, you know what?
Right.
He's a crime lord again. But
he's slowly gaining ground for sure.
Slow,
especially after taking down the Pikes.
But he's very meticulous in these things he's doing, which I thought was a good point that you brought up, Ro, about his but his similarity between him and Thrawn. Mm-hmm. Just they got plans behind plans, and everything is done in such a deliberate manner. Right. And I think that's just really interesting how they're doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. So chapter 4 was called Pride and Vengeance. We see the crime lord Vario show up at the Pike planet. And interesting, if you didn't realize this is the first time in the series that we finally leave Janix. Yeah. So we get to the planet where the Pikes are, and he's having this conversation with Krim, who I guess is the leader of the Pikes.
Right. By the way, JD, don't wet that thing or feed it after midnight.
Yeah.
Puppy. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Well, I already caught him in the cat food, so he's kind of in trouble right now.
So
when I can't see him, if he's not sitting down on the floor or not laying in his bed, I know he's in there somewhere causing trouble. And exactly what I caught him doing. I caught him in there freaking eating cat food. So yeah, awesome. Which he knows he's not supposed to do.
So Vario comes before Krim and says, "Hey, I brought Maul," and you see him come out of the ship, and you think it's Maul.
That was a really well planned out sequence, because it had me like guessing. I'm like, oh damn! And then when Maul got phasered and stunned, I'm like, oh, what the hell is going on? But then, like, slowly but surely, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this has to be a trick. And it was executed.
And again, plays to the idea that everything is just deliberate and very well planned out, and he's kind of a genius. And so, they kill Krim, and this new guy becomes leader of the Pikes. And then we come back to Janix, and Devin reunites with Daki, and they have this conversation about defeating Maul. And then this is where we go back to the police precinct, or whatever you want to call it. And again, Two Boots is insisting that they get a hold of the Empire. And that's when Lawson deactivates them.
I felt bad because I can, early on you can tell that these two characters, Lawson and the droid, they have a nice history. It's a kind of a buddy cop, scenario.
You should read the comic.
Yeah,
because they play into that.
That's cool.
But at this point in time is what you were referring to earlier. He was on desk duty.
Yeah.
But Lawson gets this ping that they found the hideout, and that's when Two Boots is like, "Yes, we're going to go get the Empire," and Lawson deactivates them. And then there you see Maul's waiting for him.
Mm-hmm.
And offers him this, to me, I thought it was a pretty generous offer, because Lawson doesn't want the Empire there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so Maul basically says,
leave us alone.
We'll do our thing and you leave us alone.
But you know what? That also goes towards Lawson's character as law-abiding, honorable.
Sure.
And I think I know a lot of people have been posting that Star Wars was missing a lot of that in some of these new shows where, there's always a good guy and a bad guy, and people were kind of tired of the bad guy being redeemed, or is he really a bad guy? They were yearning. It seems like they were yearning for that Luke Skywalker, the pureness of heart, always doing what's right. And I think Lawson at this point in the story, obviously, is that for this story. And then obviously we'll get into, later on, because it was hinted, I think, in this episode, where it seems like one of the biggest reasons that he is a single father was because the wife joined the Empire for some reason. And that's going to be a very interesting dynamic too.
Yeah. So his former wife works for the Empire. So that's, yeah.
You know what I thought was wild about that? Because I remember that exact same comment you said. I'm here by myself because my wife joined the Empire. Would you freak out if it ends up being Deirdre?
Oh,
I would freak out.
That'd be a little weird. That would be a little weird.
It might, but it's not. It'd be kind of funny.
So Lawson refuses the offer, and that's when the firefight breaks out. And there's a firefight, and this is when Daki and Devin show up, and then Lawson sees them, realizes they're Jedi, tells them to go away, get out of there. Once the fight is over, because Maul gets hurt, one of his legs gets damaged, and they take off and kind of cause a blockade.
A blockade of the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, we won't go there.
No politics.
And then we get back to Lawson sees Two Boots again, who has finally done what he keeps saying he's going to do, and he's called the Empire. And the last shot we see is a freaking... See, now, this is one of the things that I was wondering. Do you think is that a Star Destroyer, or is that just what's the smaller one? It's just a cruiser. Because I don't think
I think it was a full size one.
I don't think it's a Star Destroyer.
I think they made it out to be a Star Destroyer. It doesn't look like one of the smaller ones like the Venerator. I think at this point it's Empire is full Star Destroyer or Super Star Destroyer, obviously. But
maybe. But anyway, that's the last shot we get. We get the Star Destroyer
beautiful.
hovering
Beautiful.
over Janix, and yes, it is
Yeah.
a beautiful shot.
My
It's
jaw
a beautiful
dropped.
shot.
My jaw dropped for two reasons. Obviously, Star Destroyer, Empire, yay! # long live the Empire. And then the other thing too is the what are you nodding at? You've got stormtrooper helmets behind you.
I'm done. Yeah, that's the heads. That's the heads I've collected. That's not because I'm fans of them. There's a head in it. No.
But there were rumors too that we're actually going to see in this series. We're going to actually see a duel between Vader, both Darths, Maul and Vader. So
that could be cool.
Was that a rumor or was that a want?
A little from column A and a little from column B.
Yeah,
I can live with that. I can live with that.
heck yeah.
And it's not a super Star Destroyer. I think it's just a regular.
No, it's definitely not.
Star
Well,
Destroyer.
my thing is that if somebody in the Empire, somebody signals the Empire and says we found Darth Maul, Palpatine knows who he is.
Right.
I mean, he understands what's going on, and he knows the threat level that Maul, what his threat level is, and why would you just send? Even if it's a big squad of like a Star Destroyer and all the troops and everything that's on it, why would you just send them? Why wouldn't you send Inquisitors or Darth Vader or which I know we're going to see Inquisitors, so I'm assuming that's
Well, at
might
this
be
point,
who's
they
on
don't know
this
there's
ship.
Jedi there.
But it's Darth Maul though. I would think
Right.
that the Emperor would be like, okay, we got to prioritize this because he's my old apprentice because he's
needs
lethal.
to be eliminated. Right.
He needs to be eliminated, and so I mean I can't. I even at this point, I know we're going to see Inquisitors because I know we've already seen the previews and there's already Inquisitors involved. But my thing is that why would you even chance it by sending Inquisitors? Why wouldn't you send Vader? Why wouldn't you send the Emperor himself to at the very least send Vader with Inquisitors and say, okay, we're going to hunt this guy down because we know how bad and how important he is.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just me though. I mean, that might be maybe they feel like that's overkill, but to me that does not scream overkill.
I think that definitely plays with Palpatine's motivations. He needs to get rid of Maul. He, like he said in the show, Palpatine killed his brother, his mother. This guy needs to go down. And there's no, he would not be an effective, bad guy if Palpatine decided just to send, send General Veers. He'll get him. No, he needs to send. Somebody.
But and this is something I just thought about. What if? And let's see if see what you think of this. Maybe it's the fact that Palpatine doesn't know what status that Darth Maul is actually in. He doesn't know what he's got going on because maybe he lost track of him for a while, so he doesn't know what his mental state is. He doesn't know what he's up to. He doesn't know what's going on. And he figures that maybe he's not as much of a threat as he used to be, so he just sends the Inquisitors, he sends the Super Star Destroyer to hunt him down and to get him, not knowing that Darth Maul is actually planning to train an apprentice and to go after Vader and Palpatine, more specifically Palpatine.
Yeah, but I don't think Palpatine thinks that way. I don't think at this point Palpatine would be foolish # just to assume that he's not a threat. And everybody in the chat are cracking me up. # nerd boners unite. Absolutely. And I think since season 2 has already been announced, and I'll come back if I'm right. I would love to come back, but I feel like the last shot of the end of this season is going to be Vader and Maul facing each other and then cut to black.
That could be
interesting. There's a lot of things. That's the thing about, and something I've always kept in the back of my mind with the show. We know the fate of Maul.
Right.
We know what his fate. We know Vader's fate.
Sure.
Okay. These are things that we know. We know Palpatine's fate. So we know that his ambitions can only progress so far. And so far, he hasn't said anything about going after Vader. He probably doesn't even know. He may not even know what Vader is or what his status is at this point.
Oh, and I read somewhere that he put 2 and 2 together, and he knows that Anakin is Vader.
Okay.
Because I think he, for a while, he was searching for revenge on Kenobi. Kenobi was always with Anakin during the Clone Wars when they re-encountered him after he got his spider legs, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in the interim there, that's where he started to figure out that, Kenobi's still around. I've seen him, but where is Anakin? And all of a sudden this new guy pops up and it's Vader. So he's putting the cards on the table and seeing where they match up. And I have a feeling that that his end goal, I mean, this is a reach, but it would be interesting to see if it pans out, that Maul's goal really is to be able to defeat, get to Palpatine, obviously, but to get to Palpatine, you need to decapitate, the Inquisitors and then Vader by definition to get to Palpatine, which is his ultimate goal, to kill him and exact revenge and all that stuff. But the Inquisitors and Vader are in the way of getting that goal. So first, he's got to be able to acquire an army, gain power, strength, et cetera, by removing the underworld to be able to get, and then train this apprentice to hopefully, use that apprentice to get rid of the Inquisitors, frontline. And then at that point, he is powerful enough to maybe face off with Vader and then eliminate Vader in order to get to Palpatine, which is his end goal.
And something I was talking about earlier, where they're trying to put more emphasis on like conversation and like dialogue between characters and monologues. Can you imagine just for a second to think about that conversation between the two of them, if they're even going to have it?
Right. Yeah.
Hold that thought. Drew, I gotta ask, Drew, why would Vader have an OnlyFans?
and why am I the number one fan on that site?
No, I get what you're saying. Matt says he would end the season 1 with just Vader's breathing sound.
Yes, that would get nerds.
Yeah, that's a very good possibility.
Super stiff.
Yeah. Like he spends this entire season, now that the Empire showed up, it could be one of those things where he spends this entire season trying to get away from them and trying to fight the Empire on that level, and goes through all the Inquisitors, and then the next thing we know, it's okay, now Vader's on the hunt.
So that does bring up a question of speculation. Is the rest of this episode going to entirely take place on Janix?
Episode or series?
Series. I meant series. Yeah.
So we are basically halfway through the series, because there's 8 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to do double drops from now on? Because it seems,
as far as I know, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
every week is
the way they have it scheduled. Yeah, they're doing double.
Yeah,
drops.
There's 3 more weeks, and they're all double drops.
Yeah. So they might stay on Janix for.
Speaking
for
of
this
which, we have the titles of all of the episodes now.
Put it on screen, brother.
Okay.
That way we can make more predictions.
The next
as long as one of the episodes is not named "The Death of Qui-Gon Jinn."
I don't want to live it again. Gosh dang it! I don't want to go through it again.
Chapter 5 is Inquisition,
which means the Inquisitors are on board. There you go.
Yep.
Night of the Hunted is 6.
More Inquisitors.
7 is Call to the Oblivion.
Maybe some dark side magic.
8, The Creeping Fear.
Vader's what do you call it? There'll be some random shots of Vader's cape walking around the hallway.
Chapter 9 is Strange Allies.
Yeah, I don't know what that one.
Well, we know from the trailer that at one point Devin and him do combine forces.
Yeah.
So
that's
be
probably it.
Yeah.
And the last chapter is just called. The last one's just called Finale.
Vader's Revenge.
They're keeping it. They're keeping it from it. They don't want us to predict it.
Yep.
They don't want us to predict it.
Either that or they're just being lazy.
No, it's Filoni.
It's Filoni. I mean, they can't go into planning and working all of this stuff, and then all of a sudden, you know what? The last one, just call it Finale.
Yeah. The one thing about Chapter 4 we have not discussed yet is
when does Constable Zuvio appear? No, not that one. No,
No, not that one. We didn't talk about the lightsaber duel here. So we got a pretty
Beautiful.
intense battle. I got to be honest. I thought Uncle I thought Uncle Dacky was going to bite it.
He came close.
I saw it coming.
He came real close.
Yeah.
I was really
times.
surprised when he came out of that, and I was like, "What? He's not dead?" Because I figured, that was going to be the trigger for Devin,
and it may still happen.
It may still happen. Yeah,
it may still happen. We still might get that type of trigger.
But if you think about it from a storytelling standpoint, if he's the one that kills her, if Maul kills him, she'll hate Maul for it. But if somebody else ends him, then she'll turn to Maul and say, "You were right all along."
Inquisitors.
One of the Inquisitors. Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah.
If the Inquisitors do him in, then he's got her. Then Maul has
heard it here on Rebel Nerd Radio, folks.
He doesn't want to kill Daki because he knows what her attachment to Daki is. And if he's the one that severs that attachment, he'll never be able to get her where he'll never be able to encourage her and get her to where he wants her. But if somebody else does it, I think that'll be the turning point.
Yep. True.
Yeah. You heard it here, folks.
Hire us, Dave Filoni.
No doubt. Please. Let me just get your coffee.
How about just a phone call or a guest appearance? That would be great too.
I want to have tea with Darth Maul.
Have tea with Sam Witwer for a discussion.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll see what happens. I know we're chomping at the bit. These first 4 episodes have been pretty good overall, and I think I'm digging the story. I think there's a lot there to chew on, and it's fantastic to be able to kind of go back and chat, some good Star Wars with friends. Definitely was looking forward to this series. Like I said, animation seems to be a little bit more on point and consistently good, more so than the live action. So looking forward to the next half of this season.
Yes, 100%.
Bear says that I can be the tea coffee provider for Filoni, and you can mocap a Wookiee.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. I'll mow your cap. No, I mean.
All right. Well, either of you have any closing thoughts on chapters 3 and 4? Anything that we didn't talk about that you want to bring up?
Nope. I think between the 3 of us, we had a great discussion. Ro, it's always a pleasure, man. Whenever you come on, we always have some great talks and have some fun.
Love it.
And love to see you again, buddy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this season. I think as far as animation projects go, I think this is probably one of the ones I've been. I was excited for it, and now I'm just like, bring it on. Let's go more.
I was definitely excited for it.
And I really do think, I mean, obviously we're not through it yet, and we've got the Mandalorian and Grogu movie to go through. But I think things like this, where they're definitely listening to the fans and they're going with more substance rather than just the amount of content, is I think a great direction. And I think this is I'm hoping that this is that kickoff point for that next chapter.
Yeah,
definitely. I think you can really tell. Again, I've said it before. Large companies, if they screw up, they're not going to say, "Hey, fans, I'm sorry, we shouldn't have done this." The only way you can tell is moving forward to their future projects, and I think this is a complete 180 when it comes to story crafting and allowing these creators to really craft something that not only that the fans really are adhering to, but a character that obviously is as old as Maul is, from a movie that was still George Lucas based, et cetera, et cetera. So these things are coming back slowly but surely, and it feels like it's kind of trite to say, "Oh, Star Wars is back," but Star Wars never went anywhere, just kind of sidetracked a little bit here and there. But it's fun to kind of be on the same page with more of the fans lately with this show than arguing back and forth about what sucks and what doesn't.
Yeah. That's a good point you bring up. I haven't seen a lot of negative toward this show on social media.
Right. And I think the negative that you see is probably the manufactured negative that you see all the time, no matter what, that is required to be negative in order to get paid by the algorithm. I mean, a lot of these people, whether they like it or not, they can't say that they like it because that'll ruin their
well, it's called not being able to run a quote unquote creator content without having hatred involved with it. And those people literally have been, it's the usual suspects, if you will.
Sure. Yeah.
It's the usual suspects, and their platforms are literally, and their platforms and their monetization is literally built on the fact that this is how much I hate this, and this is why.
Right.
But
it's really ridiculous. And those are the type of channels that have thousands upon thousands of subscribers, and we can't even hit 500. But
you know what, though?
That's because we refuse to be negative. We refuse to let hatred in our heart.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being negative. I was just telling my son, it's like I'm not going to do a video every day about the fact that I hate The Last Jedi. I said my piece. I moved on. I did the next thing. So, I mean, if you have an honest opinion, go ahead and say it, but don't create your persona based on that negative opinion. Just be honest with yourself.
Yeah, we can be critical without being
negative. Absolutely. Yeah.
And the good thing about it is that I think for the most part, everybody that we've talked to, if you don't like something, we can at least either agree to disagree, or we can actually talk to each other in a calm, decisive, good manner that makes it, hey, why don't you like it? Why do I like it? Why do I like it? Why don't blah, 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 so on and so forth. And it doesn't turn into a pissing contest of who can hate it more or who can defend it more. It's just hey, we've got our difference of opinions, and we can talk about it. We can talk about it without hating each other the next day.
Right. Like we did at recess.
Right. Recess turned into a lot of schoolyard fights. But anyway, yeah.
Cool.
I think that's what's missing from it. If you don't like something, if you have a criticism, fine, so be it. It doesn't bother me. Like for Ro, if the sequels aren't your thing, we've talked about this before.
Sure, yeah.
And if the sequels aren't your thing, it's fine. Watch whatever you want to watch. It's fine. But I don't expect to be criticized or shamed or downplayed because I enjoyed the sequels, or because I defend the sequels and I say, well, there's parts about it I liked. I like this, and this, and this. I understand why you don't like it, but I like this parts, and I choose to concentrate on the parts I like. But at the end of the day, you and I are still going to be able to sit down and have a conversation and say, hey, we're still friends. We'll still talk.
Sure. Yeah.
And that is the kind of discord that needs to happen between people. That's the kind of discussions that need to be had, instead of trying to just find ways to say, oh, you like that. Oh, you're stupid and you got a problem, so you should go, just delete yourself because of it. That's the kind of thing that we don't need.
Yeah, we just move on from things.
Yeah.
You went and watched the premiere without me. I've moved on.
Oh, you talking about me?
Yes.
In my defense, I watched the premiere without both of you. So I mean, and probably millions of other Star Wars fans that wanted to go to Lucasfilm and see it in person. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. That's how it is, man.
In my defense, Steve, I did buy you a gift that I need to send. I
am just messing with you.
I know you are. I know you are.
I did have this little rant where I was talking about how are these content creators getting invites to this? Like, what is the criteria?
Hey, they have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers.
Clearly. But no, yours was a whole different situation.
Yes.
In any case, so come back next week for more Maul, Shadow Lord. Ro, thanks for coming and hanging out with us and talking.
Yeah, it's always a
Always like
pleasure.
having you on here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks to everybody in the chat room for hanging out. Thanks to those of you that were watching us live, even if you didn't jump in the chat room, because I know you're out there. I see the number. We didn't have that many in the chat room.
I think we did far better than we did when we had OBS, though.
That is fair.
Yeah.
So, I've thought about that, Bear, but I just don't have the money to do it. I can't join the 501st because it takes money. It takes money. Thanks everybody for watching. And if you're watching on the replay, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, comment. Comments are good. Anything we can use against that algorithm would be helpful. And if you got $2 to spare, become a patron. We'll see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with us. And as always, may the force be with you.